Hello and welcome to the first Coffee with Carl. Go ahead and grab yourself a cup of your favorite beverage and let's sit down. Now, my whole aim behind this kind of series, which I, hope this is the first of many, is to bridge the gap between my live videos and my normal planned out videos, because there are a lot of things that happen that I think to myself, this really doesn't warrant a full video. And one of those things today is I got all the flannels for this year's annual flannel guide. Now, that video has always performed well, and I think it'd be a lot of fun to sort of unbox or unbag these with you so you can see what's coming. It'll also give me a chance to get my first look at them, and I can give you my initial impressions and see how those maybe change down the line. So I'm gonna do my best not to dox myself by showing you my address here. But let's begin. So this is actually from Devium or Devium. This is a company that I wanted to check out a while back because they make their stuff in the USA. I think I actually listed them in my video about American workwear brands or American brands. And ever since then, I've gotten a lot of interest. People have said, yeah, I really want to check out Devium myself. And I'm gonna call them Devium because, if I'm making a mistake, I'm just gonna double down on it. So I chose this color, which to me looks a lot like, almost kind of like oxidized copper. I'm an electrician, so like that, that is something that is somewhat near and dear to my heart. And I gotta tell you, the vibrance of this color, so this feels that it is, it feels somewhat brushed. It's not hard-faced like some flannels are. I really like the buttons. The buttons are pretty cool. And if I can go back and do some B-roll of these, I will. But again, this is supposed to be a little bit more like just conversational, not a whole lot of editing. And unless I like sneeze or something, I'll probably just leave that in too. But this one right here, it has a nice feel to it, almost like a chamois shirt, right? This isn't like soft, fuzzy flannel like you get with some other brands. But I gotta tell you, I actually really like it. It has the bi-swing back, made in the USA. It wasn't cheap, and I just threw the thing behind me, otherwise I could tell you how much it was exactly. Yeah, this is pretty cool. So, Devium, that is our first flannel for this year's roundup. Next up is cool packaging. Legendary Whitetails. A lot of people asked me to check out this brand as a more budget brand because, let's face it, I really do have a lot of very expensive flannels in the lineup here. And there's a reason for that, because a lot of times the more higher tier products and companies are doing things that are really, really cool. So you want to get unique fabrics or buttons or whatever. The higher end brands are doing that. But it's not lost on me that a lot of people can't afford that. Hell, if it wasn't for this channel, I probably wouldn't be able to justify it to myself. I definitely use this channel to justify some silly purchases, which, otherwise I wouldn't make. And as a guy who used to buy my stuff from Sierra Trading Post, my workwear and stuff like that, look for like irregulars, I get it. So this one here was $34.99, so that's a pretty good price. Not the lowest I've ever seen. Right, so first of all, is this thing lined in corduroy? All right, well, you should know that it's gonna be a nasty trash pile back there I gotta pick up. I gotta get a cleaning lady. First thing you should probably know is that I really do love orange, so I'm a sucker for it. I love this combination here. This actually reminded me a lot of a Filson pattern that came out a while ago. They did one that was very similar, and immediately I thought, oh man, that looks just like the Filson. So this is cut in somewhat of a Western cut. You can see it has the sort of diagonal chest pieces there, and same in the back. The back yoke has this right here, this point. So that is what's known as a Western cut. Has the hang tag right here, which I actually never use because it tends to stretch things out. Nice. When you think of a flannel shirt, this is what you would think of, brushed. This is fascinating though, because on the back here, the back yoke, well, really, it stops at the tag. They have a little bit of corduroy and also lining the collar. So that's pretty cool. I like that. That's probably really comfortable on the skin and also adds a little bit of abrasion resistance. I don't know if you're like me, but when I shave my neck especially, I never use I have a single blade razor that I'll use, and I'll never ever use a safety razor on my neck because I tend to break out like crazy. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll just take a zero guard or whatever, and I'll just kind of trim it up And that keeps me looking somewhat fresh every single day. That stubble, though, will end up really tearing up the fabric on the inside of these collars. So, um, but I like it. I really do. This is now, again, it's not as special as the other one. It looks like this one actually has some snaps. Yep, snaps instead of buttons, which is pretty cool. I like that too. Just make sure, because speaking from experience, you don't come home and do the when you have buttons on, because you'll screw up your shirt. So that is Legendary Whitetails. A really, really nice showing from them for sure. I want to see where this is made real quick. We're gonna go. All this stuff is going to be covered in the full flannel guide. This is just like a way for me to chat with you on a Saturday morning. Made in Cambodia, and I love the colors of that. Next up, I actually took this one out of the bag already because there was another product in there. Is from Carhartt. So I had included Carhartt before, but that was one of their very heavyweight flannels. This one's a little bit different. This is their Rugged Flex Relaxed Midweight Flannel. And I saw the ad for these, and I thought that blue was really sharp. I also try to get these flannels in all different colors so that I don't have like 3 blue ones in a row and it gets confusing. So when I can, I'll get them in different colors so that they're easy to differentiate on camera. And so, what Carhartt does, I think, better than most other companies is that they offer the best value they can. Their things are not the cheapest. They're also not extremely expensive, but they tend to give you a lot for the money. So this right here cost, oh crap, I don't know where it is. I think it was somewhere around like 35 or 40 bucks. And, same thing. This actually reminds me quite a bit of the Legendary Whitetails in the way it's sewn and stuff like that. It's a workhorse, and it has the double pocket. They've been doing this lately, which I think is really cool. So they have a big opening, a smaller opening here, which I guess you can use for your phone or whatever, and then a little pencil pocket right here. So when you're using it, if you are used to a pocket t-shirt, which I am, this is very, very useful. So, again, Carhartt, just a lot of bang for the buck. Still one of my favorite companies. I know there has been a little bit of controversy with them, and I tend to not pay attention to those sort of things. I try to judge a company really kind of just based on merit and what they do. And so next up we have from Troll Company. This was a company I had not heard of until you recommended them in the comments. I asked you which flannel shirts you wanted me to get for this year. This was one of the companies on there. They are big time raw blue collar, right? Like they're up in Canada. I believe that's where they're based out of. And their stuff it's a bit campy for me. It's a little over the top. Like they have like big, like support blue collar, stuff like that. And in a way, to me, it feels a little bit like what they're doing is just kind of playing you. You know what I mean? Like they're using that as like a call to action, but do they really support it? I haven't dug that far into it. And I really don't know that many people who are that like passionate about being blue collar. Yeah, it's cool. I've been doing it my entire life, but I tend to not like brag about it, nor would I ever wear a shirt that said blue collar on it. So I actually, you can tell I've unboxed this one already or taken it out of the bag. What I really like about this is the snaps are that sort of like, they almost look like black chrome, like nickel plating. And that's a pretty cool thing. Again, I'm a sucker for orange. I thought this was a cool color. And in a way, this actually feels quite a bit like the Devium there. It's a bit thicker. And I think that this would actually be a pretty cozy flannel. It's got the flaps on the pocket, which, I don't think we've seen on any of the ones. Maybe we have. Look at it. Again, totally off the cuff here. I do not like this. When companies put big old tags on the outside, I don't like that. Now, this was down on the hem, but look, I already bought the product. I don't need to do any advertising for you. And a lot of people will give Carhartt a hard time because, they put that little C on everything. But this is pretty small compared to that. This is at least double the size. I don't really care for that all that much. But besides that, it seems all right. One thing I did notice, though, whatever they're putting into the collar, listen to this. That might drive me nuts if I can hear that all day. Now, the reason that that's there, whatever sort of interlining is in there. Okay, they have buttons underneath the collar. That's pretty cool. I like that. Whatever the lining is that they have in there, it sounds like you put a manila folder in there, that kind of feeling. And I wonder if it'll crease. It doesn't seem to be. So anyway, that's supposed to keep your collar straight. Will it work? Yeah, it'll probably work, but it might drive you nuts while it's doing it. Ah, ha, ha. Here was one that everybody wanted to see, and this is Vermont Flannel Company. These guys, I think, were probably the number one company that you guys requested in that survey there. And, 100% organic cotton, handcrafted in America. These guys are supposed to be really great. And I got a lot of really good feedback. I almost feel bad. You ever feel bad about like ripping off the packing stuff? I mean, look how nice a job they did. I mean, what am I going to do with it? Hang on to that? Like hang it on the wall somewhere? No. And this is packaged a lot like a high-end dress shirt. Love this coloration. I thought this like deep woods kind of look was really nice. Well, this is a very cozy, nice and soft. Like a lot of that has to do with the brushing. Feels like they maybe did a single brush on the outside, a double brush on the inside. These are all the kind of things that I research and then have notes when I do the actual video. But again, we're just doing a kind of an initial impression kind of thing here. So I got this in a medium, and it certainly looks like it's going to fit without a problem. So that's the thing. I mean, I have XL here, large, medium. All of these brands run a little bit different in sizing. I wish there was a standardized sizing, but alas, there's not. Really nice stuff. Now, the branded buttons, it's a bit much. I don't really mind it, but again, with exterior branding, for the most part, I don't really like that kind of stuff. What do they have to secure? Nothing to secure the collar down, which sometimes is a problem, sometimes it isn't. A lot of times it depends on the fabric and how much it'll be like bacon collar, like it's sticking out like that. So, not that you'd want to put collar stays in a flannel, but it's a nice thing to be able to hold it down. I really like this. This is really, really sharp. The colors are pretty. And then one of the things that, we look at here, again, hey, pretty, right? I'm a pretty guy. What are you saying? All right. Last that I have with me, I think I actually have a couple more coming in, is from Freenote Cloth. And let's just do let's take a moment to appreciate the packaging that Freenote puts their stuff in. Really cool stuff. And it should be, because this is the most expensive of the lot right here. Let me find the top of this thing. Where is it? There it is. Okay. This is a sashiko flannel, or a sashiko like work shirt, right? And so I might be bending the rules just a little bit by including this in the flannel roundup, but I just thought it was really cool, an interesting alternative. And, again, I don't know that I'm pronouncing that word right. I believe it is sashiko, but it's more or less a woven style of fabric. And this gives it such depth and character that, it'll look like unlike anything else here. And at the same time, it offers almost a sweater-like feel because of the kind of, more textured, I mean, even the inside here, everything is all textured. It feels really, really nice. So beautiful stuff here. And Freenote Cloth is of a higher tier, like I mentioned before. I really didn't want to include too much expensive stuff, like Ironheart and some of the other companies that I've included before, just because I know that it's very out of reach for a lot of people. And it's hard to justify $200, $300, $400 sometimes on a shirt. I get it. But Freenote, really nice stuff. One of the things that they do, I've noticed they've done this too on some of their jackets that I have, is that they'll actually put their name on if the button is like this, they put it on the edge of it. It's a really cool look, and it can't be easy to do. And it's some sort of a natural product they use for the buttons there, because they're all a little bit different. So, when you look at the artistry of a shirt, then, this is kind of where the higher tiers come in. So this is really, really nice. I'm looking forward to trying this out and wearing this. Really, really cool stuff. All right. That's all that I have for flannels for right now. But there is one more product that I wanted to show you, and that is this right here. Now, this is from Wonder Looper. And what I've got to tell you, I wanted to hold off on opening these until I was on camera, because they look like nothing I've ever seen before. These, I believe, are 21-ounce cotton sweatpants. All right. Now, these are ridiculous. The weight of these things. It's holy moly. Oh my God. When I talked to Bezod, and you may know Bezod from Naked and Famous, and the live stream that he does every Friday, I try to pop in there and say hello. So if you ever see me, say hi, or not, or tell me you hate me. I don't care. when I talked to Bezos about these, he was telling me that these are more or less where selvage denim and sweatpants meet. And I would say that he's absolutely right about that. Man, oh man, the weight. You know what this reminds me of when I first took out my Dehen 1920 shawl, sweater, jacket, or whatever it's called. And I was like, oh my God, this thing weighs like 5 pounds. That's what this feels like. These feel like right here. You want to talk about next level? Jeez. Look at these. These are gorgeous. And now you have to like that. I mean, look, I've never geeked out over a pair of sweatpants before. Frankly, I think I own one pair from American Giant, and that's kind of it. I wore them when I was sick, and that's kind of it, you know. But like sometimes in the fall or the winter, I'll throw them on in the mornings. And these definitely blow those out of the water. But of course, they are more expensive. Look, a single rear pocket there, so you know you want to carry your wallet with you or something, I guess, or your remote control. Man, whew. the weight of this fabric. And one of the things that he told me that they did is that on the hem of the leg opening here, they didn't include any sort of elastic or anything like that so that you can hem them if needed. And one of the deals with these is that since they are so heavy, you wouldn't really want a lot of fabric pooling up down by your feet. So, dude, wow. Okay, yeah, these things are, whew. Now you pay for them. I think they're somewhere around $300, something like that. But whew, if you're looking for like the end level sweatpant, there you go. Now, one of the other things that I thought might be fun during these Coffee with Carl series is talking about some of the news, some of the new products that have come out. And so one of the ones that struck me this last week, and if you were on Filson's early access thing, the Filson / Chris Stapleton collection came out. I think they have their Traveler series bags or whatever like that. Actually looks pretty cool. I would say that they're very expensive, and it sounds like a lot of times that's just the thing with Filson. It's like, yeah, that's really cool, and it costs a hell of a lot of money. And unfortunately, that's just comes with the territory, I guess. I'm a fan of Chris Stapleton. I have no idea what he has to do with clothing or bags at all, except for that he is traveling all the time. But I think if you like both brands and the product resonates with you, hey, go for it. But $800-something for that bag, that's a lot of money. Now, the other thing is that Nick's Boots came out with their high-end brand, which I can't remember the name of it right now. It begins with a B. I got early rumblings of this before it came out, and I got some really early pictures of it and was sworn to secrecy. And back then I was like, all right, that looks pretty cool. So they're more or less like a higher-end dress shoe type of construction, and it'll be interesting to see where they fit. I think that what Nick's was maybe going for in this was taking back a little bit of the market share that was taken by the Japanese products with their very high-end construction methods, and bringing a little bit of that back. So making sure the clicking was really great, the finishing, the leathers and all that stuff. I think part of what they're trying to do is maybe bringing that back. Another big thing with Nick's this last month or so is that Grant stepped down. So he left Nick's, and he was in most of their YouTube videos. He was a major part of that company. I don't know what happened there. And all I know is that he was a tremendous asset, and he will absolutely be one of those people whose shoes are very hard to fill. Ship John has been working with Huron Brass Works to come out with a utility knife. This thing does look really cool. I know that, what's his name there? Mike Elias from Ship John is really into the Stanley 199, 299 utility knives. They're really cool, kind of old school stuff. And so it sounds like he's went and made his own utility knife. Now, here's the thing, okay? I mean, from my perspective, it's cool as long as the price point is decent, because, I mean, look, man, if you're gonna charge, $200 or $300 for a utility knife, I just don't see the value. I mean, yeah, it's a cool piece, there's no doubt, and I forgot what his name is over there here on Brassworks, knows his stuff, does some really awesome pieces, but let's not forget this is a tool. So, if it was a reasonable price, something like that might be cool to pick up as a gift or whatever, but, I fear that the price is gonna be too high to justify. In the future, I'm gonna do some Q&A stuff, so if you have any questions, just go ahead, leave them in the comments section, and I'll do my best to answer most of them or whatever next time I get the chance to do one of these. Again, it's a good way to connect with you, kind of impromptu, just casually, as if we were chilling out, having a cup of coffee together here in my studio, which would be cool. Hey, want to stop by? Anyway, I'll catch you later.